And hello and good evening. My name's Mike Long. I'm in Neuro, Pennsylvania. College football, I'm a Penn State and Ohio State fan, but you just can't beat a good picture. I've had this shirt a while and I really like it. Something you just can't avoid wearing. How's everybody tonight? Good to see you. Good to be here. Glad to be here. Actually have a lot of things going on, a lot of things that we could and should be doing, but talking to you is certainly one of them. What's everybody up to? You having a good evening? I know throwing up a live as I did last night, talking about decisions. What makes it a good decision? What makes it a commitment? And a mission? Something that you're going to follow through on. I know I've had the occasion to do that, and as I dug into and dig into it, one of the things that you have to overcome, I think I've found a pretty good way to, and right from the same place I've been coming from Tony Robbins, just a tremendous amount of good stuff from him and worthwhile material. Today, what I wanted to talk about a little bit, and I think it's worth your time if you've got the time, is it's called Neuro Associative Conditioning. It's a Tony Robbins thing, and actually reading it in his book, I didn't realize, but it's actually his very own creation. Personally, I've had roadblocks, I think, that were between my ears that have been keeping me from doing what I want and getting what I want, helping the people that I want to be able to help. And the neuro-associative conditioning looks like a pretty fantastic answer to being able to do that. Been working on that from the little bit I'd read in the book, and tonight, deciding I wanted to talk about it, I got a little deeper into it and realized what a great thing it is and is going to be. Basically, the steps to the neuro-associative conditioning go like number one, you decide what you really want and what it is that's preventing you from having that. Now, why you don't, and I think for me, this crucial first step, it has taken a minute to figure out. Again, I think it might be something in between the ears, and this is where he goes on to show you how to change that, and I think it's actually I think it's working for me. The change in it is coming faster than I would have imagined. So the second step would be to get leverage to associate, and basically he's saying that all humans and psychology 101 are more alike than they are different. And I love psychology, I have to tell you, it's one of my favorite subjects. But the key is we're all driven to avoid pain and towards pleasure. And this is the key to neuro-associative conditioning. It's all about avoiding the pain and moving towards the pleasure. And I think often when you get into it, if you don't get very serious about it, the pain is excuse me, the pain is something that you can fluff on past and not really get it in between your ears to get yourself thinking about what it can do to change you. Short story for myself, and hello, Wendy, good to see you. Short story for myself, I drive a short bus, young kids to preschool, and this year so far, my day starts at about 6:30, at least leaving the house, and one of the things that I've been doing with Neuro Associative conditioning is, as I go down the road to work and down the road on my job, I've been, here in Erie, we have had 12 feet of snow plus since December 1. And, the mornings aren't all that freaking wonderful to be out and about. You think about it a minute and realize that there's probably a lot of better things that you could and should be doing. So I've been taking that pain and internalizing it, and the pleasure, the goal that I have is to make this the year that I get the income shifted online 100% and be able to walk away from the job. No, it's doable. No, it's within my grasp. I have the tools and and probably the programs in place to be able to do that. Now I need to get my mind there. So as I've done that with the associating the negative, the pain, well, one way I can show you that it's working is I'm here now. It would be easier to go binge watch Grey's Anatomy and lay in bed till I go to sleep and get ready to get up in 6 hours. But here I am talking to you and serious about building the business. There's the next one. Last night's chili. I had about 3 spoonfuls of that, and we're calling that dinner for now. I may or may not have another 3 spoonfuls later, but we're getting real close to that. But that leverage to make the change, you hit that pain threshold, and that's, I guess, what I was trying to say before. The threshold is where the pain is so severe that you have to do something about it, and that's when you're going to. And as I've done this over a period of weeks, tonight when I hit the research button, of course I went to the library and got a book. Or maybe not, but I Googled it and came across another Tony Robbins invention, construction he devised called the Dickens pattern. And in the Dickens pattern, you need to focus totally, and what you want to do is think about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and 20 years from now. What is the pain going to be from not making the change that you want to make? How is that going to affect your life? Where will your life be then? When you've got that goal and you know where you want to be, if you don't make the change, where is that going to leave you? And then after that, you want to think about 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years from now, where you'll be if you make the change and you do what you want to do, and you go out and get that goal. Go out and fight for what you want and make it happen. When you see the pleasure of what making that change brings and the pain of what not making it bring, in about 20 minutes time, he's saying with your total involvement, you're going to come out a different person, and you'll have the leverage to make the change that you want to make. If you don't get another thing out of what I'm saying, that's probably it right there. In 20 minutes, you can actually change your whole entire next 20 years. And that, I think, is huge. Step number 3 was interrupting the limiting pattern. Whatever it is that's keeping you from getting what you want and doing what you want, is a pattern in your brain. Something stimulates you. You say, "Oh, I can't do that because of this, or because of my condition or my circumstances." I think we can find lots of examples all over the internet of people that have accomplished some amazing things against all odds. Looking like they didn't have a chance in the world. So what he's talking about then is if your limiting pattern, as you get into that, you need to start interrupting it. If it's acting the fool. He talks about if you're in a restaurant and you're overeating, you stand up and shout and point to your chair and yell "pig." Do this 2 or 3 times and you'll be all done overeating. You won't do that anymore. Great concept for breaking that limiting pattern and the pain and the Dickens pattern that I told you about. 2 great things. Then you're also looking at step 4, creating a new empowering alternative, something that you're going to want to go to. If you're going to quit smoking, it might be that you want to engage in regular exercise instead, to do yoga or deep breathing, meditation, something that's going to replace the smoking and give you something that you're excited about and want to go towards. So you keep reinforcing that pattern, and whenever the new behavior happens, you give yourself a pat on the back, congratulate yourself, and you'll find that your new pattern is replacing the old one. And then next, you want to test it. You want to check and make sure the new pattern works. Imagine the scenarios that triggered the limiting pattern, and the empowering pattern, and notice your responses. Probably the new pattern would have taken ground by now, taken hold, and started to take over. So you want to remember to be clear on what you want and where you're going. Have an empowering alternative to your limiting pattern. Find something better and plug it in instead. Reinforce that empowering pattern as and when it occurs. Congratulate yourself. Give yourself a reward, whatever it takes. And with the moving away from the pain, you get that massive leverage to change, and you can get it done. I know for myself, this is the year I'm bound and determined. I'm going to be online by the fall, 100%, and get the heck out of that day job. It's just time. I am not somebody that has a giant pension laying there, or probably the alternative being to be a Walmart greeter and until they carry me out of their feet first. I think there's a lot of life left to live, a lot of things to do, and I want to be able to do that. And working online would allow you to go where you want and be where you want to be, and that for me is what the answer is going to be. So that was something that's worthwhile, and like I said, it's working for me. Here I am. I'm the Saturday before last. I had a coaching call from our Firestarter Mentorship program with Natalie Subrate, and we finally came up with something I've desperately needed for a long time. This a daily method of operation. And I'll be honest with you, last week that doggone limiting pattern pretty much killed it. I wasn't accomplishing what I wanted to. I was finding excuses and reasons I couldn't, and as I started plugging in the pain of not doing what I want to and then changing that pattern, that is going away, and I am back on my daily method of operation. We're going to stick to it and probably expand on it, because the pain's actually, I was committing to 2 hours a day, and it's going to probably end up being more like 4. You just can't resist the opportunity to do more, and I know that was something that my one of my current mentors, Mark Lalonde, I just heard say, and Tony Robbins has said, reading his book, he talked about when he wanted to get to be, a tremendous speaker, to be able to talk and motivate people and have people's attention. Somebody asked him how they could do that, or somebody else was trying to do that. They were doing 48 speeches a year, which sounds like a lot, one every week. His answer was he did 4 speeches a day, every day. Any group of people he could get to listen to him, he went and he talked. And when he was done talking, he processed what he said, what he did, and turned that around and figured out how he could get better tomorrow or the next speech, and then he went and did it again. So in a very limited number of days, he was doing more speeches than everybody else was in 48 weeks or a year. Thus, he got better faster. So I think practice and keeping your nose to it and working on it is going to be the one of the keys to making everything happen. But that's pretty much what I wanted to cover today. I do tomorrow. I think I'll do another one, but we're going to actually get away from Tony Robbins for a minute and go a little shorter. Pretty much know what I want to talk about then too, but we'll be back tomorrow. And tonight, I mentioned Mark Lalonde. We do the Branding University we have launching in March. And for you, hopefully, to get some value from being here, I'm going to post in the comments. We have a free Twitter course that's available if anybody wants to jump on that. And it actually is what Mark used to build a 7-figure business, producing literally 100 leads. 100 leads a day for himself. The Twitter course, we also have the Firestarter Mentorship program I mentioned. We learned how to and actually did build a successful lead generation video. And there's a module of that that's available to you for free. Also, the vlog that I'll send you to get those, you're able to get one of those yourself for free. So some good value, I think, for you if you want to take a look at any or all of that. It's all free and would be worth your time. I'll post that now in the comments. And, take a look at the vlog and see if it's not something you could use to build your brand. I'm enjoying it, and it's working well for mine. I like the content and the concept of giving away the free value. So I appreciate your time, and thank you all for coming, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.